Hello amigos, RadiShineAmigo here and welcome back to Let's Play Crash Bandicoot Fusion. I would sound more excited, but it's Crash Bandicoot Fusion. Now, we've got another one of these time trial break the crates things. I'd recommend trying, well, obviously in some cases it's a bit hard, but I'd recommend trying to spin some of those crates where you just bounce on them, because obviously it'll take up a lot of time. You noticed I've spun like the first one that I encountered. So yeah, it might take a couple of tries. Those can be a bit challenging, but not too bad, I guess. Like, the most challenging thing is being able to put up with this game, really. I just realised there was a different death animation there, so I was wrong. There's more than one death animation in this game. I guess something that I will go over is just like any like history I have with this game. So as like you guys know, I believe there was a card hidden behind the icicle there. As you guys know, I didn't play this game when I was younger, but I wanted this game. So basically, I can't remember how I first heard of it, but something that I distinctly remember is when I was in primary school, there was like a raffle, so you could win a copy of Crash Bandicoot Fusion with a Game Boy Advance. I think it might have been both Crash and Spyro, I don't know. But yeah, I really wanted it. So obviously I asked if I can enter the raffle, and I was like, yeah. Well, my mum was like, yeah. And tried entering it, and I didn't win. But yeah, I think that might have been how I heard of it. And then, before I keep going on, so this is kind of like the Crash Bash pinball minigame, except like nowhere near as fun, and it's an obvious rip-off of an Atari game. Great with the original ideas, guys. Pretty self-explanatory. Hit everything, and make sure both of the balls don't fall down. The bit behind you, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, I always really wanted it, just because it's Spyro and Crash put together. And it's mostly just because it was Crash, really. I didn't really know much about Spyro at the time. I'd only played Spyro 2 at that time, I think. And, oh, there's 3 death animations! This game amazes me the more I play it. So yeah, I only really played Spyro 2, and even then I wasn't really a big fan of it at the time. Bear in mind, I like Spyro 2 now. It was just when I was younger, I wasn't a big fan of it. So yeah, I wanted the Crash Spyro game. And so at one point, I believe I asked for Crash on the Game Boy Advance, but I think I just said Crash on the Game Boy Advance. And then my mum gave me Crash XS, or Crash the Huge Adventure, and sometime later along the line, and the second one, Entranced. And like I wasn't complaining at all. I was completely fine with it. I probably like might have completely forgot about the crossover game, to be honest. To be fair, I did just say Crash GBA. What the hell was that we just bumped into? That was just a purple mess. Yeah, so to be fair, I did only ask for Crash, and I'm very happy that was the one that I got, because those games are absolutely amazing compared to this game. And yeah, so 2015 came around, was like, well, the next game in the Crash series that I got to play is Crash Fusion. And I've always wanted to play this game. My friend's like, oh, I've got this game. It's, okay, don't look forward to it. And I was like, oh, great. Is it going to be bad? And I played it, and yeah, it was not very good. Now, of course, that monkey we were just talking to there, he's from Spyro as well. I should probably look up what the monkey's name is, actually. I don't really know much about Spyro. I know he's from Spyro 3, but I haven't finished Spyro 3, so let's have a look, because there's quite a lot of different characters in Spyro 3. Agent 9. Okay, I remember now. Agent 9. And anything cool about Agent 9? I know he has like a gun and you have like third-person shooter levels. So, when playing as Agent 9 in Spyro Attack of the Rhinox, the gameplay is very similar to Rolling Thunder, a video game created by Japanese video game company Namco. Agent 9 is one of the only two characters to have two hidden area realms within the same homeworld, the other being Sheila. I'm guessing that's referring to Spyro 3, I don't know. He's the first playable primate in the Spyro series. I've got the web browser open and all I can hear is sheep screaming in my ears. Okay, so that Spyro game was a Game Boy Advance game. Speaking of, we do have some trivia for this game. One thing I didn't know is that if you press L and R as the game starts up, you can unlock a secret mini game called Spyro Party USA. Maybe I'll show that off, I don't know. Let's see, what other trivia do we have? Just as with Crash Bandicoot, the huge adventure, leaving Crash to stand idle will make him... Oh, so he pulls out the Game Boy Advance when he stands idle in this game. Just like he does in those games. Which I thought was pretty cool. Speaking of, it was like... there was a time when, like, you know, when Crash went multi-platform. But... When you first went multi-platform, that was Wrath of Cortex. So it wasn't just the PS2, it was also on the Xbox and the GameCube. But I don't ever remember, like, thinking about the fact that Crash was multi-platform. Oh look, we've got another weightlifting minigame. It felt weird playing Crash on the Game Boy Advance, but that was about it for me. Because when I got Wrath of Cortex and Crash to Insanity and Crash Nitro Kart, etc, etc, I only got them on the PS2. I don't think I ever knew that there was a GameCube version, to be honest. When Wrath of Cortex came out, I don't actually think I knew that there was a new game out called Wrath of Cortex. Like, I think it was around about when the Wii came out, the Xbox 360 came out, was when I actually, like, knew about new game releases and stuff. Obviously you'd occasionally get like adverts on television and stuff, but they didn't have like everything on there. I never really remembered seeing any Crash Bandicoot adverts when I watched TV. Except the Fusion one, actually. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I just kept playing this until I got a card. You can literally just keep playing them as much as you want until you run out of Wumpa Fruit. I wouldn't recommend it though if you want to go for all the gems and stuff, because obviously you need like gems. You need Wumpa Fruit to open up the levels for the gems. There's Sergeant Bird there. So I remember Sergeant Bird. He's only in Spyro. Well, his first appearance was in Spyro 3, but for some reason I remember Sergeant Bird. Hi Crash, Aku Aku told me what was going on. No worries though, this is the professor. Working with him to locate Ripto and Cortex. Wow, I pressed A way too quickly. I can't read this. She's basically explaining like what the previous cutscene like showed us. I say cutscene, but it's more of like visual novel. I just noticed by our gem and crystal count, we've actually 100%ed this world, so we'll be fighting the next boss soon, which, let's see, who's the next boss? The next boss is Tiny Tiger in Tiny Takeover. There we are. I think we're close, Crash. Coco and the Professor have almost located Ripto and Cortex. Brrr, cold, tiny smash Crash. Doing that hurt my throat. So yeah, this is like a tank minigame. Kind of like the Crash Bash ones, I guess, because you actually are fighting an enemy, and one of the enemies you could fight in that was Tiny Tiger. Except this is like a major pain in the ass. Like, this boss fight is not fun in the slightest. So you obviously have to avoid his projectiles. And you can only shoot when those things are like down. Like, you can't shoot through them is what I mean. I think you can go through that little corner. Though I mostly just tried staying on the left. just because... So like I said before, you don't just move the tank, you move the turret as well, and that just makes this fight like really, really awkward. So I'd recommend just like sticking on the left and just going up and down, so you don't have to worry about your movement too much. Like I didn't have to move the turret, I just had to fire, so yeah. Blast! I thought for once that wouldn't fail me. Well, I should have known teaming up with you was a mistake. Your minions are weak, just like you. Shut up, you... Oh, okay. So yeah, these two aren't really getting along at the moment, apparently. Which, I mean, they failed both, like, in Cortex's case, I can't even count the amount of times that he's failed at this point. Ripto has failed like twice at the moment, at this point in time. Because he failed in Enter the Dragonfly and Spyro 2. He also died in Spyro 2, but you know, he's still alive. And you may have also noticed that Nina Cortex is in this game. Now, without explaining now, Nina Cortex just kidnapped the Professor and Coco. But yeah, this was her first appearance. Not Crash Twinsanity, it was this game. Because bear in mind, this came out the same year as Crash Twinsanity. Oh, the part's over. Bye guys.